Module 9, Lesson 2, the second of the 3 types of feelings and being able to respond correctly to each type. This lesson will be a review because we're going to be talking about trauma or PTSD triggers. These are feelings that I've talked about in previous lessons, and now we're just going to go over them. We're going to use the work of Pete Walker and talk about the feelings and the behavioral indicators that you're experiencing some kind of feelings. That was developed by Pete Walker in his book From PTSD, From Surviving to Thriving. And they are the fight feelings, which bully behaviors, the flight feelings, which are connected to workaholic and performance, the freeze feelings, which are connected to shutting down and withdrawal, and the fawn feelings, which are connected to people pleasing. So let's do it. First one is fight feelings. So usually we get into this fight if we're an aggressive person when it comes to being in our trauma responses. Those fight feelings, the urge to fight, come from fear of abandonment or of being devalued or being unsafe, or fear of any of the feelings that we might experience when we relinquish power and control. So this is an experience where in childhood you maybe were spoiled or not given limits, or you're allowed to imitate your parent who was narcissistic, or those moments when you behave like your parent did toward you because that's what you were modeled, even though it doesn't fit your value system. The behavioral indicators that you're in this mode are confronting or attacking other people, going into long monologues where you're talking and not letting anyone else talk, criticizing other people, going to a rage, bullying people or demanding perfection, and controlling other people. So remember that when you feel the need to control other people, you're in a trauma response and it's based in fear. Second one is flight feelings. So these are the feelings that come up when we feel triggered because we feel inadequate, inferior, we feel worried, we feel performance anxiety, we feel the need for adrenaline or the need to achieve so that we can get love and safety. The thing to remember here is that these feelings are indicating that you're in a trauma response. These are the feelings. The actions that go with the flight response, so that you know when you go into these actions that the feelings that I just talked about are probably underlying your experience, are obsessive thoughts, not being able to stop thinking about something that's going on and how you're going to fix it, compulsive action, not being able to rest until you fix something, having a hyper focus on your personal performance, turning into a workaholic, and micromanaging other people. The next one is the freeze feelings. So when we're in a freeze response, we're feeling fearful, paralyzed, the urge to hide, feeling frozen, and a feeling of numbness. It's not moving, it's lack of action. And the behaviors, the actions that are cues that indicate that we're experiencing these feelings are hibernating, oversleeping, daydreaming or zoning out, watching too much TV, zoning out with online shopping, playing video games, detaching from other people, or avoiding and withdrawing. Then finally, the fawn feelings are those feelings that cause us to experience overcompliance. So we want to figure out what's wrong with the other person and make them feel better, feeling overly helpful, feeling like we want to sacrifice ourselves for some cause, or being unaware of our feelings, or being overly submissive and deferential to the other person, or feeling exploited in a situation that we've been interacting in. So the actions that are cues that we're feeling this way are the need to entertain. So we find ourselves entertaining, being a yes person, being the nice one, working hard to fit in, flattering other people, putting our needs, rights, preferences, and boundaries after other people so that we can fit in and belong, and acquiescence. That means that somebody is asking you for your preference and you just want to go along with whatever it is that they want. That's an action that is a cue that you're in your fawn feelings. What you're looking for with all of these 4 ways of feeling and acting are persistent patterns that indicate that maybe there's something that you need to look at that's deeper. So what happens when you find yourself doing these specific things or feeling these ways? Well, you've already been taught the first thing to do is to recognize your trauma response. And then the second thing to do is use everything you've learned in this program to help you heal those trauma responses. So your homework is to pay attention to when you have out of proportion responses. Start noticing those responses and work the program on the trauma responses, the triggers that are coming up for you. And remember, focus on one trigger at a time until that trigger is healed, and then move on to the next one so that you don't get overwhelmed. Next lesson, the feelings associated with healed triggers. We'll see you there.